11 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I looked at on the waiver wire this week. The first guy is Adrian Hauser of the Milwaukee Brewers. Hauser, he's been a pretty decent surprise, in my opinion, here for the Brewers and fantasy owners. So far in the season, 64 and 2/3, 4-5 record, 59 hits, 26 earned runs, 10 homers, giving up 26 walks, 54 strikeouts, a 3.62 ERA and a 1.31 whip with two quality starts here. But the last couple weeks for Hauser, 16 innings, 1-0 record, 17 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, a 2.25 ERA and a 1.38 whip. So right here, Hauser, he's pitching good. It's a low ERA. He's getting wins, but the only thing with him, he's not really going deep into games. But right here, I think he's been pitching real good. And definitely worth an ad, in my opinion, in fantasy leagues this week. And right now, he's only owned in 23% of fantasy leagues, so he's available in 77% of the leagues. And the last few outings here for Hauser, June 1st versus Detroit, 5 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. June 8th at Cincinnati, 5 1/3. Got the win, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a 1.69 ERA, and a 1.5 whip. And then June 13th versus Pittsburgh, 5 2/3 yesterday, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, no walks, 2 Ks, a 3.18 ERA, and a 1.24 whip. So this guy, he gets outs, he's been getting wins, and he just needs to get those quality starts and a little deeper into games. But right here this week, I believe he's one of the top ads to add this week on the waiver wire at the pitching position. The next pitcher I look to add on waivers this week here, Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. Gilbert, one of the top prospects in all of Major League Baseball, got off to a rocky start the first 2 or 3 starts of the season for him, but on the season now, 28 1/3, 2-2 record, 24 hits, 13 earned runs, 3 homers, 8 walks, 29 strikeouts, a 4.13 ERA and a 1.13 whip with 2 quality starts here for Gilbert. In the last couple weeks for him, 17 2/3, 2-0 record, 11 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 6 walks, 18 Ks, a 2.04 ERA, and a 0.96 whip with 2 quality starts. So Gilbert, he's going deeper into games. He's limiting his walks, which is definitely a good thing for a young pitcher like him, even though he's not on a great team like Seattle. But right now, he's going out there each and every 5th day and giving them a great chance to win the ball games. On May 31st versus Oakland, 6 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 5 Ks, a 3 ERA, 1 whip and a quality start. June 6th at the Angels, 5 innings, got the win, 2 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 4 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.80 ERA and a 1.20 whip. And then June 13th yesterday at Cleveland, 6 2/3, got the win, 4 hits, 1 earned run, a walk, 6 Ks, a 1.35 ERA, and a 0.75 whip with the quality starts. So Gilbert, he's going out there, he's pitching good innings, and right now he's one of the top prospects in all of baseball and performing for a reason. And this guy, he should be owned in more fantasy leagues, and he's available right now in still 68% of fantasy leagues. The next pitcher I looked at on waivers this week is Joe Ross of the Washington Nationals. So Joe Ross, we know he's always had big potential of being a good pitcher in the bigs here, is Ross. But the last couple seasons, hasn't gotten things together. And so far this season, 62 1/3, 3-6 record, which obviously isn't great, with 54 hits, 29 earned runs, 11 homers, 24 walks, 60 strikeouts, a 4.19 ERA, and a 1.25 whip with 4 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here for Ross, 19 innings, 1-2 record, 11 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 walks, 20 strikeouts, a 1.89 ERA, and a 0.84 whip with 2 quality starts. So Joe Ross, he's going out there. He's producing right now over the last couple outings for him, and he's available in 91% of fantasy leagues. And the last few outings for Ross, June 5th at Philly, 6 innings, got the loss, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and 0.83 whip and a quality start. June 13th versus San Francisco yesterday, his next outing, 8 innings, got the win, 5 hits, no runs, 9 Ks for Ross, an 0.63 whip, and a quality start. So the last two outings, he's pretty much been unhittable and not giving up runs as Ross. And his next outings versus a weak hitting New York Met team that has a bunch of injuries in their lineup. And right now, I think Ross, he's been a good pickup the last couple weeks. And right now, maybe things are steering in the right direction for him, with him going deeper into games, him not really walking batters at all. And that's what you want to see out of him, because this guy's got electric stuff. He's got good potential, and right now he's definitely worth an ad on the waiver wire this week here is Joe Ross. The next pitcher I look to add on waivers this week here, Gutierrez of the Cincinnati Reds. So Gutierrez, so far this season, he's been really good since he came up from the minor leagues. So Gutierrez so far, 17 innings, 2-1 record, 11 hits, 5 earned runs, a homer, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts, a 2.65 ERA, and a 1.12 whip with a quality start. So Gutierrez, he's only had 3 starts so far in his major league career. And hey, he's gone out there and he's pitched good baseball for this Red team. And his next outing also is today here at the Milwaukee Brewers, who he has a victory over in June 9th in that ball game. So the first 3 outings for Gutierrez: May 28th at the Cubs, 5 innings, got the loss, 2 hits, 1 run, a homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and a 0.80 whip. June 3rd at St. Louis, 5 innings, got the win, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, 3.60 ERA, a 1.20 whip. And then June 9th versus Milwaukee, like I mentioned, he versus tonight, 7 innings, got the win, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, a 2.57 ERA, and a 1.29 whip with a quality start. So Gutierrez right now, he's been added in a decent amount of leagues, but he's still available in a whopping 78% of fantasy leagues. This guy's got electric stuff. He's hitting the strike zone right now, and the only thing he's got to cut back on is his walks. But right here, the Reds believe in him, and he's one of their top pitching prospects as well coming up, even though he's only 25 years old. But this guy could go out there and perform, and in my opinion, could help fantasy owners right here, right now. The next pitcher is Mike Minor of the Kansas City Royals. So Minor season 5-3 record, 61 hits, 37 earned runs, 12 homers, 24 walks, 81 strikeouts, a 4.5 ERA, 1.15 whip, and 3 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here for Minor, 20 innings, 2-1 record, 15 hits, 8 earned runs, 4 homers, 3 walks, 20 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a 0.90 whip with 2 quality starts. So right here, Mike Minor, he's been pitching good baseball here. And like I mentioned a lot in my videos, this AL Central does not have a lot of good hitting teams in it, besides maybe the Chicago White Sox, in my opinion. So right here, he's going to have some good favorable matchups as the weeks come on. And he's turned things around considering where he was early in the season. And the last 3 outings for Minor: May 31st versus Pittsburgh, 6 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 7 Ks, a 3 ERA, and a 1 whip, and a quality start. June 5th versus Minnesota, 7 innings, got the loss in that one, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, a walk, 5 Ks, a 6.43 ERA, and a 1.14 whip. And then June 10th at Oakland, 7 innings, got the win, 3 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 1 walk, 8 Ks, 1.29 ERA, and a 0.57 whip, and a quality start. And his next outing for Minor is tomorrow versus a weak Detroit Tiger offense. So right here, he's taking advantage of weak hitting offenses, and this is what you got to do. And right now, with him available in 73% of fantasy leagues is Minor, I definitely will go out there and add him, because there's far worse options as well on the waiver wire. The next pitcher is Ryan Weathers of the San Diego Padres. So Weathers here, they use him as a spot starter or a swingman a lot here, where he's going to go deep into ball games, is this Padre team. But the only down thing with him, he's only going to go about 5 or 6 innings max. So on the season, 44 1/3, 3-2 record, 32 hits, 12 earned runs, 5 homers, 13 walks, 33 strikeouts, a 2.44 ERA, and a 1.02 whip with no quality starts, though, like I said here, for Weathers. In the last couple weeks here for Weathers, 10 innings, 1-1 record, 12 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a 6.30 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. But I still think Weathers could go out there he could produce for this fantasy owners. And obviously, he's on a good San Diego Padre team that's going to get a lot of victories here as the season keeps going on. And his latest outing for Waivers was June 7th, where he started that game. 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 4 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.20 whip. And I believe he's going to pitch in one of these games coming up at Colorado or Cincinnati this week. So right here with him available in 70% of fantasy leagues, and this Padre team, a good team, and they're high on him, I think Weathers definitely could be a good add and contribute to your fantasy team this season and obviously this week. And the next pitcher is Josh Fleming of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Fleming, he's just like Ryan Weathers, where he's going to come in second or third inning of the game. An opener here is Fleming, and on the season, 56 and a third, 6-4 record, 45 hits, 20 earned runs, 6 homers given up, 13 walks, 33 strikeouts, a 3.20 ERA, and a 1.03 whip with a quality start. And the last couple outings here for Fleming in a few weeks, 11 innings, 1-1 record, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, a homer, a walk, 5 Ks, a 4.09 ERA, and a whip. So just like Weathers, he's not going to get a quality start, but he's going to be a guy that goes in his position in the back end of games or early into games where he's going to pitch 5 or 6 innings at mostly, and he's going to get wins. He's getting strikeouts. He's got a decent ERA, and I think he's worth an add. Some of these opening guys, they just don't get much respect in fantasy baseball. And now this is the wave of where baseball's going, with a lot of teams using openers. And right now I know some of these guys don't qualify for enough innings, but if they come in obviously in the back end of games, that's where their value truly could be used. And Fleming, he's available still in 78% of fantasy leagues. In the last few outings for Fleming, June 4th at Texas, he actually went 7 innings, got the loss, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, a homer, 2 Ks, a 6.43 ERA, 1.43 whip. And then June 13th versus Baltimore, 4 innings, got the win in that one, no runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and 0.25 whip. So Fleming, he definitely has value. He definitely has good appeal in my opinion. But the only thing with him, obviously, if he's going to come in the back end of games, you're going to have to keep him in your starting lineup all week. And the next pitcher I look to get on waivers is Fetty of the Washington Nationals. So Fetty, this might be the season where he finally turns things around. And on the year, 44 and a third, 4-4 record, 35 hits, 19 earned runs, 5 homers, 18 walks, 43 strikeouts, a 3.86 ERA, and a 1.20 whip with 2 quality starts in the last couple weeks here. 5 innings, 1-0 record, 4 hits, 7 Ks, 0.80 whip here for Fetty. So Fetty, he's going out there each and every 5th day now. He's got a spot in the rotation, it looks like here, for this Washington National team, and he's available in a whopping 97% of fantasy leagues. So the last outing for Fetty was 5 innings, got the win, 4 hits, no runs, 7 Ks versus the San Francisco Giants on June 12th. And his next outing is June 18th versus the New York Mets, which is obviously a favorable matchup with all the injuries due into that New York Met lineup. The next pitcher is Austin Gumber to add on waivers this week of the Colorado Rockies. So Gumber, he's been on this waiver wire list a lot throughout the season, and he's still available though, is Gumber, in 59% of fantasy leagues. So on the season for him, 68 and a third, 5-5 record, 54 hits, 30 earned runs, 9 homers, 23 walks, 71 strikeouts, a 3.95 ERA, a 1.13 whip, and 7 quality starts. So that's pretty good numbers for a guy who's going to pitch more than half his games or half his games at Coors Field this season. And the last couple weeks, 11 innings, 2-0 record, 8 hits, 1 earned run in the time, 11 Ks, and 0.82 ERA, 0.73 whip, and a quality start. So Gumber, he's going out there each and every 5th day the last couple times out, and he's pitching like an ace right now here for this Colorado Rocky team. The only thing for me that concerns me is obviously the division he plays in here. So the last couple outings, June 3rd versus Texas, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, 0.50 whip, and a quality start. And June 9th at Miami, 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, an earned run, 5 Ks, 1.80 ERA, and a 1 whip. So his next outing is today versus the Padres, and this is going to be a true test here for Gumber. But I think he's passed the tests as the season's gone on. He was a top prospect for a reason in the Cardinal system, and obviously he was the major piece in the Nolan Arenado deal. So I would believe in Gumber, and he should be added in more fantasy leagues, in my opinion. And the final pitcher I looked at on waivers this week, Tony Santillan of the Cincinnati Reds. So Santillan made his major league debut yesterday, and it was a mixed bag of results versus the Colorado Rockies here for Santillan. He only went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts with a 1.93 whip and a 1.93 ERA here with Santillan. So Santillan, he's available right now and still a whopping 85% of fantasy leagues, and his next outing most likely will be at the San Diego Padres in a later date this week here. So right here, Santillan, one of the top prospects in this Red system, and this Red team, they're starting to come out with a lot of blue chip prospects like Gutierrez, I mentioned earlier, Santillan, and then the kid Green that they're calling up to AAA Louisville here today. So right here, a lot of good prospects for this Red team. And this Red team, they're definitely going to be in the race this season with that offense and some pretty decent pitching, even though Luis Castillo has been a disappointment so far this season. But right here, that NL Central, in my opinion, still wide open. And guys like Santillan, Green, and Gutierrez are all waiver options in the next couple weeks, and obviously this week. So Santillan, as long as he stays in the majors, I think he could have a role for fantasy owners and definitely be a decent pitcher. So that's a few pitchers I looked at on the waiver wire here in week 11 of the fantasy baseball season.